Hi, Gryoger here. In a side quest on encounter building. In the last side quest encounter building video, we talked about using monster pools at each CR and taking those monster pools to make encounter tables, then importing the encounter tables into Fantasy Grounds, then linking monsters to them, and then changing the table so they output encounters. Today I just want to upgrade our tables a little bit. I want to use monsters that are in the monster manual to add to the quality of our tables. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy my SRD tables, and then I'm going to open up the copies and unlock them and change the names. So 4PC Monster Manual Monsters MM. This will be 5PCs MM Monster Manual Monsters. All right. There's a few. We're trying to increase the quality of these tables rather than the quantity, the numbers that are on them. In the first place I want to look is with my undead. In the monster manual, there's something called a crawling claw, which is a CR0 monster. What I want to do is use the crawling claws to help my skeleton and zombie encounters. One of the things Matt Colville points out in his Flea Mortals monster manual is that CR 1/4 are actually hard encounters for first level parties. And while these are fairly vanilla, if I can add a combination of CR 1/4 and CR zeros, this will lower the danger level, but still maintain the number of monsters appearing. In fact, I can even increase the number of monsters appearing. Right now, I'm capping them at 4, but I can do the encounter rocket we've talked about for parties of 4 by changing this to have 2 skeletons and 1 to 3 crawling claws. D3 times crawling claws. So I just dragged and dropped the crawling claws in there. I'm going to do exactly the same thing for our zombies down here. I'm going to change it so I have 2 zombies appearing. And I drag the crawling claws over there. Notice how I'm dropping it way out here. If you drop it too close, it'll replace the zombie link. So if you drop it and nothing seems to happen, make sure that you still have a zombie over there. All right, so that's for my CR4. So I want to do the same thing for, for my 4PC tables. Going to do exactly the same thing for my 5PC tables. The only difference is I'm going to change the skeletons to be 3 and the crawling claws to be 1d3 X. I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the zombies. I'm going to make it 3x, which means there's exactly 3 zombies. We're going to do 1, oops, don't forget the brackets. They're very important. 1d3x crawling claws. So I now upgraded my encounters in that they're not quite as difficult, but we've also got the rocking amount that we want. The next change I want to make is with the CR 1/8s. In particular, I want to take advantage of mains. Mains are the demon equivalent lemurs. So I want to get them in there kind of as matching bookends. I'm going to get rid of these poisonous snakes, which, while thematic, aren't exactly the type of monsters that people are excited about usually. So we're going to just change the name from poisonous snakes to mains. And then we're going to drag and drop our main right over here. We're going to click it to make sure we actually hit it. It does say main, so we're good. We're going to do exactly the same thing here. And drag and drop it to replace poisonous snakes. And click it to check. All right, so now because this encounter table is on a bell, and I want the chance of demons and devils to be the same. So our lemurs are 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want these from the 4 from the end of the tail. 1, 2, 3. So I want to swap the beetles and the mains, and so I'll just do that by changing the beetles to 14 and 14, and the mains to 13 and 13. And I'll do it over here as well. 13 and 13 and 14 and 14. All right. So now we got our mains in there replacing the poisonous snakes. And the last change I want to do is I want to swap out these giant lizards. These giant lizards are CR14s and they're large, which doesn't fit that well in our 10 by 10 dungeon, and certainly giant lizards can't open doors. So they're an okay monster, but we can do better with Slaad Tadpoles. So what we're going to do with our Slaad Tadpoles, because these were CR1 quarters, I had them 1 less than the rocking amount, so I'm going to change that up to a 2, and we're going to call them Slaad Tadpole. And we're going to do exactly the same thing over here. Call it Slaad Tadpole. And we're going to also boost the number appearing up. And then we're going to actually drop them. Let's click that and drop this one, drop that one, and then we'll click them to make sure we actually have tadpoles there. Tadpoles. All right. That's pretty much all I wanted to do is show you a quick upgrade to using the monster manual instead of the SRD. I'll see you in the next video.